was was the bar.
Drop the mic. That's why they start fading it out.
Yeah.
That's when they drop the mic.
That's when he dropped the mic. So welcome to the Tampa Bay Breakfast Club, y'all. I'm your brother John.
I am the one and only Mr.
And
Edmund.
this program is being brought to you as part of the New Image Project of the Community Development and Training Center, aka See That?
See that?
Hey, and we like to thank y'all for tuning in, helping us to redefine what's cool.
Hey man, we can't never get that right without you. We can't never get that right.
It takes practice.
Yes, sir.
It does take practice. It takes time.
That's right.
And
that's right. You just make it look easy.
Yeah, no, we've been doing this for a few years.
Yes, I was just talking to my uncle.
Okay.
Right, one of my uncles, you know how to be.
Yeah,
so
yeah.
And he was like, "So y'all got a radio station?" You said a radio station?
Mm-hmm.
I said, "Yeah, it's on FM dial 99.1."
Ooh.
How long y'all? You been doing it 6 years, 7 years? Yeah, about 6, 7 years.
You probably told him 10.
You know how I do. Yeah, it's been about 10 years. No, I told him I gave it to him blood, bro.
6, 7 years.
See, you know what I'm saying? Off and on, because how we did it and how it came about.
Right.
Because it was alive before it came alive.
Right. That's right. I see we got Miss Yvonne. Thank you for tuning in.
Hey.
Melissa Stevens Folks, thank you for tuning in and all that you do in the community.
Grand Rising, good morning, good whatever you like.
Yeah, whatever you like. Tag somebody and tell them about it, man. What's good with you, man?
Oh man, I got on a lucky jacket.
Okay. Yes, sir.
So I ain't gonna say lucky because I'm not a lucky person. I don't really necessarily luck. It's magic. It's my magic jacket.
You create your luck.
Yeah. This is my magic jacket. So when I had this jacket on, it's by magic being created.
That we subscribe to that idea that you create your own luck.
Oh yeah, we make it happen. We make it happen. Good days, bad days, we make it happen.
So
it's on us.
So here's my story on luck. So so I was on the phone with you that day. I think I was walking.
And you had found the money.
I found $10 in Williams Park. Right now, I wasn't the first person to walk by there.
Yeah,
there were other people that walked by.
A lot of people.
They saw, might not have saw.
Yeah.
But when I came by, it was still there. So that don't mean that I'm more lucky. It just means that I was in the right place at the right time and I made the right observation.
And doing the right thing at the right time. Because we was on the call.
Yeah.
And then he was like, "Hey,
look at it.
Look at it." I'm like, yes, it feels about right. That feels right.
It really
walking up on it.
You create your own luck, man.
Yes.
I really believe that. My wife, hey, good morning. How are you? Thank you for tuning in.
Hey.
Domino, Florida. Thank you for tuning in as well. I appreciate you.
Yes, thank y'all. Share, like the page. If you tag a friend, tell them to wake up. If you ride, put your seatbelt on and turn up the knob.
Yes, please, and thank you. Please, and thank you. So with the magic jacket, I know it's cold out there.
No, it ain't that cold.
It ain't cold. So yeah, I think yesterday was supposed to be the coldest, right?
Yes,
and now we back on the uptick.
Yes,
we talking about climate change, man.
Yes, man. Listen, people don't believe in climate change because every day is every day you dealing with life. But the reality is there is pollution in the air.
Yes.
Right. There's pollution that's giving people asthma and different respiratory diseases, and we think it's normal.
Yeah.
No. He just breathe like he just heavy breathing.
It running our family.
Yeah. No,
your family been living next to that thing.
That smokestack on 46
for years.
Y'all been living on by the smokestack, and it ain't funny. But the reality is, because one of the prime achievements is the gas plant district and the gas plant redevelopment.
Yeah, that's the story.
And
that
is
the romance.
I call environmental racism romanticized.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? We living next to the smokestack and the gasoline stack for decades, right? So when we redevelop the Childs Park plant, we're not gonna call it the how cold redevelopment.
No, we're not.
No, we're not. We ain't going to.
We're not gonna romanticize.
It was bad, and it's still bad.
It really is.
Yeah, it's not all good because we grew up around it. Remember all those tires? Remember that stuff?
Yeah.
That was pollution.
It really was, man.
I'm just saying.
Yeah, and environmental racism in a lot of cases is what they call it.
Yep, that's what they call it. Environmental racism.
Environmental racism. And then you think about where we live. We was talking about this too, how your zip code can determine your life expectancy.
Bro, the zip code, determines 7 to 10 years of life expectancy in certain parts of St. Pete.
Yeah, it goes up or down.
It goes up or down. Like, so 4th Street is like a barrier. And if you're on the
east side
of 4th Street, you are 7 to 10 years more years on your life.
Yeah, you live longer.
Expectancy.
Yeah.
They expect you to live 7 to 10 more years versus if you live on the west side of 4th Street.
Yeah, the Harbordale side.
The Harbordale side. So you got like the old northwest, southeast,
old southeast,
the old southeast side, and the Harbordale side. And if you're on the Harbordale side, you're expected to live 7 to 10 years less. Than your neighbor across 4th Street.
Yeah, that's a problem, man.
That's an issue. That's an issue we got to take care of. And it's really is a public safety issue.
Right.
We make a lot of investments on public safety and we think about police and handcuffs and the justice system. But a part of public safety is our health.
Right.
Right. We have to redefine what we're thinking about public safety. And a part of our safety is our health. You know, breast cancer. You know, there's women, it's 24, it's like a big percentage of Black women in St. Pete, breast cancer.
Yeah.
Dying of breast cancer. Lung cancer, heart disease, you name the ailment.
Yeah, that sounds like we need to have an event called State of Black St. Pete.
Yes, we do. It's on the books for March 31st.
Okay.
Working out location.
Okay.
We're working out partners. So if y'all want to be a part of it, get with the Urban League Young Professionals.
Yes.
I am the president, and we will get back with you.
So save the date, March 31st, the State of Black St. Pete. And we're going to be talking about these numbers, like these, these statistics, these vital, this data.
The realities. Right. Because a lot of times we get a glossed over picture of what we call, you know, the community.
Yeah.
But there are some harsh and sobering statistics that we must face and confront.
Yeah, because what you measure, they say, is what gets done. And if we're not paying attention to the measurements, then
ain't nothing getting done. And obviously that's the problem, right? Because, you know, we got to aggregate this data. All the data's out there.
Yeah.
But who's aggregating the data and putting together an action plan to you know, combat change?
Right.
And there's several initiatives going on. Don't get me wrong.
Yeah.
So I ain't but what I'm saying is there is no coagulation.
Yeah.
Is that's the word?
No, yeah.
The coagulation?
Yeah, you had me at aggregate.
Oh, yeah. That's shit. I've been working on it now.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? I've been coming up off the, you know what I'm saying? And hitting you with the words.
Yeah, with the words. So, yes, but definitely having.
But we got to aggregate the data.
Yeah, we
you know
got to put it all in one place.
And then all these initiatives need to be co-mingled.
Yeah.
That's why I said coagulated.
Coagulated. Yeah, that's the thing. That's a real thing. I know what you mean when you say that. But yeah, and I think that makes sense, right? Because if we not looking at them all in context,
exactly,
then what are we really doing?
You're not realizing that the same address for HIV rate, the same address for diabetes, it's the same zip code for heart attacks, it's the same zip codes for all the disparities.
And number,
all the disparities are housed under 3 or 4 zip codes. Right. And what we got to do is, you know, like take a sobering look at it and seriously, hey, how do we attack it? Because it is, you know, it's concentrated. Don't get me wrong. It's concentrated between 3 to 2 city council districts. You know what I'm saying? So we got to find a way to make magic happen, y'all.
Real deal. Jarvis, thank you for tuning in. Miss Yvonne, Sharonda, thank you. The Davises, man. I just love the grind of the Davises.
Oh, man. Cannot. Hey, and it was just Valentine's Day. So call in. Okay. Tell us about your Valentine's Day.
Okay.
See, think about the relationships, because that is a Black power couple. These people, people are magic. They put me on the job, you know, one of my biggest jobs, to be honest.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying?
Okay.
Sandra gave me a call, and before you know it, I was on Riverwalk in Tampa.
Okay.
Doing what it do.
Messing with the Davises.
Doing what it do. Big shouts out to the Davises. Keep doing what y'all do.
Real deal,
That's
man.
That's real.
So we still in Black History Month.
Yeah.
And there's, I mean, we said it was an attack on Black history, but I think it got to be like more than that, right? So
I think I like it.
You know what I'm saying?
I think I like it
because it's not just an attack on Black history. Like it's an attack on like
black
period. And just the idea, because when
you're so right.
When you say stop woke, or this is the place where woke goes to die, like what are you really saying, man?
I think what we see as a problem, I like to look at as an opportunity.
I agree.
Right. And it's like it's called, you know, flipping the pancake. Right. So if there is a coordinated and strategic attack on Black this, that, or whatever,
right,
why aren't we developing a strategic, you know, response? As far as the school system has historically failed us, right? We had to go in there and overachieve, right? We had to be the best of the best. And that's all right, because that's what we do. We be the best of the best, so that's cool. But the reality is the school system has been failing us. So now let's use this as an opportunity to energize what could save us, and that's the community, right? School system. So we got the public school system, and then now we need to develop the community school system.
I like what you did there.
You see what I did? Yeah. See, there's a public school system, PSCC,
and then there's a mission, a vision.
Exactly. So then we do a community school board. Yes, you know what I'm just saying. And we have the same like structure, but what we do is take the children when they get home. Right, having after school programs where we can teach them about Marcus Garvey. Right,
unhindered.
And so if it's a problem with them learning about Frederick Douglass. If someone feels uncomfortable learning about Nat Turner. Right, we can provide that at home. We can have the tools to give it to the parents to teach. We can have trainers teach the teachers. Right, and we can use the energy that we're wasting on like being negative and down because this person is bigger than whoever, but they're not bigger than the people. Right.
See, more us than it is.
So if you want to take over the school system and take back America, you can have it. We can have the community though. Right. And then what we'll be able to do in the community may far surpass what's ever been done in the school system.
That's right. And I like that because it's an immediate step. It's an action item that we can do. And it's something that, quite frankly, they are forcing us to do. Like we've been,
but it's all right. You done did it before.
Yeah, we've been saying that we need to do it. We should be teaching our.
Thank you.
They making us do it.
And they're not necessarily making us do it. What happened is some people are just really wallowing in the defeat. Right. They're and I'm not knocking. You know what I'm saying? Somebody's pain. But what I'm saying is there is no action items or action steps being proposed. What's being proposed is, let's take back and let's go.
Let's go march. Let's protest. Let's scream. Let's shout.
Cool.
Let's vote.
That's cool. So everybody, give me your names, and then I call through that list, and we'll find the people who want to help us do the community school system.
Because we have a lot of school teachers,
and they're ready.
We got educators.
They're ready.
We got a lot of smart
and
people.
There's budgets, right, for after school tutoring. Right. So there's strategies, and there's resources already at our fingertips. Right. The resources to do something like this is already kind of there. Right. It's just all about implementation and coagulation. We got to coagulate back to that word.
That's the word of the quarter.
Coagulate.
Missy Glenn said we do need to make it happen for the community. A lot of our children don't know their history.
Wow. See, and that's true because I didn't learn about Elder Jordan. Big shouts out to the power broker, Gypsy Gallardo. That piece she did about a couple pieces.
Report. So let me give context. So she recently did a report highlighting more than the known accomplishments of Elder Jordan. Jordan is the namesake for Jordan Park and that Jordan Elementary. And we talk a little bit about what he's contributed, but she did a
deep dive. She got the paperwork, the county records, and I appreciate that because that's Black history that we're not taught, right? And big shout out to Miss Gwen. Miss Gwendolyn Reese, right?
Yes.
Because she the one who first told me about Elder Jordan at one of y'all power.
At the emerging
leader. The second.
And that was like
2012, 11,
13.
Something like that. Yeah. And I remember her telling that story. I'm like, whoa, I ain't never heard of this guy.
Elder Jordan.
And then I went and pulled the string, and then I started pulling up different stuff. And to be honest, Elder Jordan is a founding father of the city of St. Pete. We're gonna have to just clear our throats and say that. We're gonna clear our throats and say that on Black History, it needs to be you know how they commemorate? It needs to be an Elder Jordan week in St. Pete. Right?
Because when you
look
his
at accomplishments, and he helped build the city, he loaned the city money. It's all kinds of what they call folklore, but it's coming out to be true. The documentation, the facts are in.
And they're showing that Elder Jordan was the man for real.
Listen, for real. Shout out to Boston Jordan. He coming in. But we really gotta salute our trailblazer, right? And big shouts out to Mr. Donaldson and his family, right? Because they put their name right on the incorporation papers. It was a Black man's name when they incorporate from Tampa to be Pinellas.
And make St. Pete.
To make St. Pete what it is, it's a Black man name on there. Right? And see, they regulated us to what slavery and this and that there, but they're not gonna tell you that this city, the birth of this city, has a Black man's signature on it.
Wow.
I'm just saying, I'm kicking game. I'm just saying.
It's in the paperwork.
It's in the paperwork. I didn't write the man's name on there. All I'm saying is I'm just telling the people that St. Pete has a rich Black history. Like we're one of the Black Wall Streets. We're one of those places. When you talk about Tulsa and Atlanta, make sure you mention South St. Pete, St. Petersburg, Florida, because we are one of those places as well.
Real deal. My wife, she said they're afraid when we learn all about ourselves, they can no longer fool the people. So what they've done to us, they are afraid that we will do it to them. And that is that they call that white guilt in a lot of places too. And I mean, you think about it, that's how you know, like, we are different kind of people.
They're superior beings.
Because any people who went through what we went through under this group of people would be wanting revenge, would we want some, whatever, but like we not on that.
No, we superior people.
Yeah,
like
we not on that.
It's really something
like
in
we
the
the most
DNA.
forgiving, loving, merciful people ever.
Like a godly people.
Yeah, because
like a godly people.
But they fit that. And to your question, Sharonda, she said, isn't he the one who developed the Jordan Park community?
Yes, what they're saying is he donated the land for the Jordan Park Elementary School and the Jordan Park apartments that we now know as JP.
Yeah.
What up, JP?
He donated the land.
Yes, and the reality is a lot of St. Pete history, even the gas plant. Like he was a part, because I'm reading in Gypsy paper, that even the gas plant land, he was a part of that, and a lot of forced sales, forced foreclosures. See, and I was gonna ask her,
rising.
Hey,
come on in.
Right. Yeah, don't worry, we got you.
Yeah.
Because he's gonna go. But listen, back to what I was saying. We got Qiana in the house.
In the building, baby.
Good
morning. Morning.
But yeah, so Elder Jordan.
Oh yes. So the gas plant district.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
He was a part of. They all these forced foreclosures, forced sales and stuff. I ain't like it.
His name showed up in a lot of the paperwork.
I ain't like that. Elder Jordan.
Okay.
The namesake of
Jordan
Park Elementary School. He's responsible for pretty much building 22nd.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
See,
and that's the thing. I think this report is saying that it wasn't just 22nd Street. Like
he was
known for
52 properties and all kinds of redevelopment.
And then his sons, they also was about that life. I tell you what, you can go to this Breakfast Club. We actually shared a link to the article. It was published in the Power Broker magazine. PowerbrokerMagazine.com, but you can also catch a link on the Tampa Bay Breakfast Club page.
Yeah, Elder Jordan, bossed.
Yeah, bossed up, man. Bossed up.
Yes, this ain't one of the game.
Yeah, and speaking of Black History Month, and so as we're in Black History Month, the need for Black history, there's two things that's going to be happening. On Saturday, February 25th, they're opening the Florida Civil Rights Exhibition. It's going to be at the St. Pete Museum of History. So I was over there, but maybe about 2 weeks ago for the Legacy Ball. J.C. Pritchett came in.
Right.
And when he came in, he was talking about the Legacy Ball. And as a part of that meeting, he met at the St. Pete Museum of History is where the ball was. And while I was there, they said that on this February 25th, they'll be opening the Florida Civil Rights Exhibition. And so they're going to be talking about civil rights throughout the state of Florida. And then there's also an emphasis on civil rights and the civil rights struggle right here in St. Pete. So y'all check that out, St. Pete Museum of History on February 25th. And then on February 28th, the African American Heritage Association, they'll be hosting a closeout Black History Month with African American Heritage Association. They're having a mixer at Urban. Y'all know Urban is the spot and the place to be.
Mm-hmm.
And so on February 28th at 6, you can go by there. And then I want to talk about it real quick before we let's top it out. It's halfway through the hour. Mm-hmm. We want to let you know that you're listening to 99 Jams, the new 99 Jams morning show, the Tampa Bay Breakfast Club, right here. We'd like for you to donate and contribute to this marathon fundraiser. Our goal is $2,000, and we know y'all can help us meet that. The Black Arts and Film Festival. The Black Art and Film Festival.
Yes.
It's kicking off on Thursday, February 23rd.
Yes.
Wayward Walls. I'm just reading.
Yes, inside of the factory St. Pete,
which is 2622 Fairfield Avenue. If you don't know where the factory is,
yes, Wayward Walls is a very special place inside of the factory.
Okay,
it's amazing. Big shouts out to Debbie Garrett. Big shouts out to the one and only Carla B. Yes. Big shouts out to Cranston Cumberbatch and the whole team that put this amazing festival together. And kick it off on the 23rd.
We got to bring them in because the 23rd, because it's like a classic Cranston and Jabbar, aka Dream Makers.
Mm-hmm.
It's multiple days.
Listen, we don't play.
They do multiple days. Like they don't do just like a one day event. So we said Thursday is the kickoff. This thing run from the 23rd through the 26th.
Just chill.
And there's a full schedule.
Next year we coming for 10 days. Just chill.
That's what happened with the Sunshine City, right?
Yes, just
started with 4 days. Ended up with like a whole month and a half.
A month. We coming for your whole calendar.
So why not?
Why not? Yeah, if you're gonna go every day. So it's the Factory St. Pete, 7:00 on Thursday, February 23rd. It says, join us for an enchanting evening of light mixing and mingling in the beautiful ambience inside of one of St. Pete's newest hotspots for a unique liquid experience on the Deuces. Also, get detailed information on each of the festival's events leading into the weekend. And more importantly, meet indie professionals. Indie is independent, right? The indies, for those who don't know that language, meet indie professionals from all aspects of film, music, and visual arts in the community. That sounds big.
Yeah, I mean, it's huge. So you can go to blackartsandfilmfestival.com and get the whole schedule.
I hope Crunk Coco there. Crunk Coco say, hey, y'all.
Hey, what up? Crunk Coco just was on Drewski.
Okay. And he just had a birthday too.
Okay.
Yeah. You too old to be that crunk guy.
No, he's not. Never too old to be crunk.
Okay.
All right. Let's Crunk Coco.
All right.
That's your name.
Look, okay. He can be 60. He can be 60. He can be 60.
Yeah.
Oh, I can't imagine an old Crunk Coco.
A 60-year-old.
No, 90. I go older.
Yeah, because 60 ain't really old.
No, because 60 we're gonna be fabulous.
60 ain't old.
Yes, we're gonna be fabulous in our 60s.
The closer you get, the more you realize.
You're like, that ain't that old.
Yeah, that ain't that old.
That's just a couple years from now.
That ain't that old. That's not that old.
I'll be 60 soon.
And so the kickoff is on Thursday, and then on Friday there is filmmakers and artists tour.
Yes.
And so you can find out more about filmmaking, the visual arts community in the Tampa Bay area, and the benefits that are available. And also you're taking a tour from hot spots to shoot.
Yes.
So just going around saying like, these are some good places to shoot. Galleries are open to artists, exhibits, and locations in the area are film friendly.
Yes.
And so I guess like there's places where like
yes. I want to say big shouts out to the Clearwater St. Pete Film Commission.
Okay.
There's a new film commissioner. I can't say her name, so I don't want to mess it up.
Okay.
But yeah, these tours and things. Previously in the past, the commission used to help us out. So this year, Cranston and Miss Debbie is going to take it over, and they're going to take us on a tour of some of the amazing spots in Black St. Pete, some of the Black artists and things of that nature. So yeah, come on out. It's gonna be amazing. Yes.
No, that's great, man.
Amazing.
That's great.
It's gonna be amazing.
And then also on Friday, so that's Friday morning.
That's early Friday.
Late Friday, you got the documentary in Indie Shorts.
Yes.
That's also at the Factory. So that's an evening. An enriched evening of documentaries, indie shorts, and art displays.
Yes, we may have the charcuterie boards. We may bring the boards.
Yeah, you're gonna bring out the charcuterie boards.
Maybe sharp. Whatever.
Yeah,
they're really nice. We had one on Friday.
I may call them champagne bowls.
Right. Really kind of, like because it could be different. Yeah.
Big shout out to Sandra for turning me on.
Yeah, no, it's amazing.
Urban drinker.
Look, man, I'm telling you, this is like.
It's a lot.
It's an amazing week. So and then on the 25th, you got the professional workshops where you're doing acting, writing, art and film, music and film, surviving as an artist. Period. Also at the Factory on Saturday.
Listen, so I'm going to tell you what's amazing about this. Because a lot of people want to make and be in movies, and they don't know where to start.
Okay,
come to these workshops because they're going to give you a starting point. Right. And once you get started, you're not going to necessarily need somebody to hold your hand through the whole process. Some people just need to get started and get it kicked off. You may come and meet a mentor. You may come and meet someone who's doing what you want to do and maybe work with them. Right. So it's an opportunity. The workshops are amazing. I'm a filmmaker and I learn something every time I go.
Yeah, I love that, man.
Yes.
And then look, Saturday night, you got the film festival. It's films and music videos. And there's a web series showcase as well. So Saturday the 25th, it says join us for the premiere red carpet screenings of our feature length selections. You got music videos by top indie artists, also featured web shorts, some of the top filmmakers in the Tampa Bay area and beyond, man. Yeah, and
that's big. That's gonna be big. I mean, I'm excited.
You know who made some good music videos I've been seeing lately? I've seen a couple good videos from Dirt Dog.
Man, listen.
Yeah.
Listen, Scott Watch.
Yeah.
Yes, man. I love all
Antonio Scott, man.
Yeah, I love all that.
Dirt Dog, man.
I love all that.
I saw he did a video. It was a song about mental health.
Listen,
and then the video that he put together, it wasn't even like a music video. It was like a little mini movie.
It was a mini movie. I just looked at it.
Yeah, it was dope. And we don't talk about mental health, and he put bars.
We're gonna stop. We talk about mental health. We used to didn't talk about mental health, but now we
got music videos
about
mental health.
Yeah,
and it's dope. And it was just the way that he put it, because we talk about the arts and culture movement.
Yes,
again, the New Image Project. The whole point of the New Image Project is for us to be able to put out new information, new arts, graphics, and entertainment.
We're redefining what is cool.
Yes. We're redefining what's cool, and I love that. Smart as the new gangster,
for real, all the time, man. And
see that?
That's the whole pitch. Just mesh it together. and then there's going to be the Black Art and Excellence Filmmakers Brunch at Rush Hour.
Yes, that's going to be amazing. Big shout
on Sunday.
JB Rush,
it's a whole week of events. What's the website again?
Black Art and Film Festival.
Okay, gotcha. blackartandfilmfestival.com, maybe.
And pure Jabbar fashion.
That's pure Jabbar fashion. So if you know the website, put it
Miss Debbie, somebody save me.
Put it in the chat.
Thank you for the stars, Sierra.
Hey, big shout out to Sierra for the
I was like, she can't. I'm gonna tell you.
Sierra saved the day. We was in here. We was in here twitching and tweaking.
I'm about on it. I woke up this morning, was making my coffee, and my coffee maker is not working. So I'm like,
boom, 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 boom. Yeah, because you bring your cup. Like
so when I take my son to school, I'm gonna go get you a cup and bring you one back.
Yeah, you
leaving?
I gotta take my son to school.
Everybody leaving?
You don't do it. I mean,
we ain't leaving you.
Yeah.
I ain't leaving you.
A little bit.
Where we know at?
So
where we know at?
We got Steve Simmons saying good morning. Thank you,
Steve. What's up,
Simmons?
Yes.
Miss Joanne, she said this is my first time here. Good conversation and great information.
Good morning, Mom.
Thank you. Hey.
Oh, we gotta have her in.
Listen,
yes.
Yeah, she's doing amazing.
Yes, they're building housing and affordable housing here in the neighborhood.
Miss Joanne, do your thing. Come on to the Child's Park Neighborhood Association meeting and party February 21st. It's a heart thing, y'all.
Yeah,
I know the Nesbits. I know them.
Yeah.
Listen, I was going to tell you.
Yeah.
Good job. You the best.
You
my dog.
Yeah.
What I did? Thank you.
Thank you for being
Listen,
yourself.
for real.
So you got some people that's been tagged too. Aaron,
okay.
You've been tagged.
Aaron, you've
been tagged. Elisa Burgess, you've been tagged.
Yes.
Y'all got to tap in, y'all.
Sierra came in. I saw when she got in, and then as soon as she just started doing, she started tagging. If you're new to the show, we want you to do something. Go to the bottom of the page, share it. Once you share it, go to the comment section. Then tag some people who need to wake up this morning. It's What's on Your Mind Wednesday. You can talk about whatever is on your mind, right? After you do that, send us some stars. We totally appreciate it. If you've never sent stars before, Facebook give you your first 200 for free. Send them to us. We appreciate it. They are a centerpiece, just like any great deal. The more you buy, the cheaper they are. All right. And we're also doing a marathon right now for the radio station
as we speak.
Okay. This is community radio.
That's real now.
Right.
Carefest the radio.
Right. And so we need donations to make sure that we keep running. We can come here every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday and give y'all this great information, right? And entertainment. So please, turn up. Y'all love us. We love y'all.
Yeah.
So we're now asking our viewers to help us reach our goal of $2,000.
That's right.
Right. And I think that our amazing viewers can help us do this.
Y'all can.
Right. I have faith in y'all that we are going to meet our goal of $2,000.
And if you want to do this, if you want to call in and just make a pledge and tell us what you're giving, that
call in.
Inspire somebody.
Call in now.
So you can call in now. You can call 727-637-2416. And if you got something that you want to give, whether it's $5, $50, $500, $5,000, whatever it is you want to give, call in and say, look, I got a donation.
I got it.
Let us know what your pledge is. Call in and do it because this is a community-owned public media resource.
That's real now.
It's community-owned and it's public media,
Listen,
y'all. Like, we own
what
this.
more can you ask for?
Yeah.
Like really, seriously, what more could you ask for?
For real.
And it's targeting your audience.
Yeah.
Right.
It's for your business.
Right. It's for your business. It's really for us right here. It's ran by us.
Yeah.
Right.
Ooh, it's food.
Right.
Wow.
And and so and we're getting better and better.
Yeah. And we got love for everybody.
And we'll pull up on you.
We'll pull up on you, man.
Yeah, come out broadcast live.
Yeah.
So if you want to do a live broadcast, you can do that as well.
And let me say this: if you have like a health initiative, if you have something that you're pushing for as a nonprofit, and you're trying to reach the community, touch bases with us. We've helped everything from eviction help to HIV awareness to whatever.
Yeah. And what I'm going to tell when you call and do that, because this is community radio, what we're asking is you give us a donation.
Yeah.
Break bread.
Break bread with us. It don't have to be a whole lot, but we
respect any amount.
Right, any amount. But just know this is how the lights stay on over here. Right. We can do what we do. Okay.
And we're gonna for the next hour from now into 8:45, we're gonna match. We got Dream Makers Productions. I got Dream Makers on the line. And they're gonna match. They're gonna match your donation.
Okay, I see the stars coming in. We're gonna send the link to the radio station.
Carla, you on the line.
Just a minute, I want to start my pledge with $100.
Okay. Now, Sierra, was this Sierra?
Yes.
I thought this was Sierra. Thank you. Listen, Sierra, I don't think you know how like a lifesaver you was on Monday. We appreciate. Thank you, Brother John, because he said the address.
So that's what I was going to say. So it was a tag team that began. Checking the fact line, let's begin, right? So it is a joint effort. This is community. We need to bring the joint effort, y'all. We need y'all. We can't do this by ourselves. We look good with everybody, and Brother John helped me look good. So it's a tag team. It's a tag team thing.
Thank you. Thank you for your pledge.
So here, Sierra has been the first one that publicly said that they're giving $100 towards our $2,000
marathon
that the Tampa Bay Breakfast Club. So when you go to the website, what we need you to do is going to be the donate button. Press that, donate $100, and put Tampa Bay Breakfast Club. Okay. Let them know where this money is coming from. And now what we're gonna do is challenge somebody to match.
That's what we're talking about.
Sierra with it. Come on.
Can I get 100? Can I get 100? Can I get 150?
So we was having this conversation earlier, and thank you again, Domino Florida sent some stars too.
Oh yes, and your wife.
Yeah.
Come on, don't forget. Wait, before you go up there, Sharonda said she calmed Jabbar down with the coffee.
Yeah, because when I seen that coffee, I was like, oh boy, they done messed up now.
No, but it worked. It worked. He needed Jabbar needed something.
He needed to level him out.
He really did. Like
he needed to be leveled out.
I see Qiana just looking at me. What are you looking at me for?
We leveled him out. So this conversation we were having earlier, and this was before we came on air, and it's a question that I like to ask you all and ask the viewers.
Okay.
What age is a good age to give your child a phone?
Ooh.
Okay, so this is different for everybody. Now
how you gonna say it's different?
It is different.
No, it ain't. It's a certain age that you get to drive a car.
Hold on, let her respond to that. So
okay, go. Okay, go.
You see, and then you see what I do.
You shut down.
You got to figure it out. You know when it's happening.
You know the secret.
I'm telling you, when he hear my voice, it says talk. Okay. And whenever he hear my voice, it just says
don't just talk. Go.
Okay, so
it's different for everybody else, and it's different reasons. So I worked a lot of hours when Qiana was younger.
Okay.
And
younger, we talking age. So
like second grade.
Okay, so that's like 6, 7, like 7.
So I gave her a phone, right?
At 7?
Yes. I'm gonna tell you, my house, my rules.
No judgment at all. I'm just surprised. Yeah.
So I did, and everybody was like, "You gave her a phone," but it was locked down where she could only call me.
Okay.
And and certain people, but I wanted to be able when she got off of school that she can reach that. You know what I mean?
Security. That was security.
And so I wanted to make sure that I still was able to check in with her, see how her day was, and everything like that. If she didn't see me when I was the first person when she got out of school and somebody else did it.
Was it a smartphone?
It actually was a razor. So everybody, but it wasn't. We didn't have. So at that point, the razor was the it phone, right? At that point,
I remember the razor. I had
she
one.
was 7 with a razor.
She was 7 with a razor, and you know me, I got slack for it. Why?
No, but that's all right because that was security purpose.
But I didn't care because it's my child.
Yeah, but that was good.
I will tell you this.
So what you was probably paying by the minute then, wasn't you? Qiana 30 now, right? So
no, she's not 30. Check that out. But she closer. She 30. But she closer. She closer to 30 than
25, 26.
26.
Yeah, that's what I said. Right. So this was like 20 years ago. Wow. So it wasn't like smartphones.
That was the beginning of the smartphone.
And we had payment plan. Like you had you 500 minutes.
You talk about
yeah, you did. You had unlimited, and then you had unlimited.
You had a problem for
and then nights were free. Remember, nights were free. Nights and weekend was free. But then every week you had to pay for it or whatever. Now I will tell you, here goes the flip side of it, right? Sometimes Cheyenne would have this phone. I had to get her because she would pull it out and call me for lunch. While Cheyenne, this is not.
It's for emergency purposes
emergency purposes only, right? So everybody want to show off their toy,
okay,
and what they don't have. Now I will say that like these phones are really, really expensive, and you do what you want to do in your household. But I would start off with something an older iPhone if you're gonna get your.
This is what Sharonda said. We're gonna take this call. Hold on 1 second. Caller, hold on. Just continue to hold 1 second. So Sharonda says, I gave my son a phone at 5 years old only because he and his father had shared custody, and I didn't want my son to be able to call me anytime. It definitely varies for the reasons. Everybody has different situations. I agree.
Yeah.
Caller, what's on your mind? What's on your mind?
This is Miss Joanne.
Hey, Miss Joanne.
Hey,
good morning, Mama.
Good morning, sweetheart.
Turn your radio
down. You guys
down.
are doing such a phenomenal job.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
My husband and I are gonna donate $100.
Thank you so much.
I appreciate that. What you got?
Okay, we appreciate you guys.
Appreciate you.
This
Got
is the first time on too.
Thank you.
First time caller.
Miss Joanne Nesbitt, man, and like I said, she's doing some amazing work. Thank you, CDC.
Yes.
We gotta definitely have them come in.
Yeah.
Talk about that because we want to know more.
Yes.
I do. Really.
Yeah, no, they're building houses, helping with the affordable housing crisis.
That's
when
right.
We talk about supply and demand. They helping with the supply.
They are, and they're not new to this.
No,
they're true to this.
They're true to it.
I just want to
and thank you so much for matching Sierra, Miss Nesbitt. Just match Sierra. So can we get somebody to match Miss Nesbitt? Call us. We got $100 match going on, y'all.
So what do you think about what about the cell phone to you?
So let me take my wife's thing. She said 4th or 5th grade.
So that's 10.
And older if they're responsible.
That's 10.
Yeah, I kind of go along with that. I think 4th grade, that's like 9, 10. I don't know.
So
I don't think the situation depends on the situation. Like if you like
driving, it's 16. It's 15. No, but it's not. Okay, go.
No, you got it. What
age?
So I think 10 or over, right?
Okay.
I think 10 or over.
Okay.
Depending on the child.
So no younger than 10.
Not with your own phone, unless it's security, right? Unless it's something. I got a call and we call in. That type of thing, cool.
Right.
And after you off the buzz hit me, that's perfect. That's what it's made for. But like the smartphone aspect, where you searching stuff and you watching YouTube and you doing all that, you gotta be a certain age.
Okay.
Well, I'm gonna say
so phone. The
smartphone
difference between the phone and the. So you saying at 10 you get the Obama phone? That's what you saying?
Well, I'm gonna say this. All phones at this point. I'm gonna say this. At this point, all phones.
Their own phone.
You just
when
phone.
do you get your own phone?
That's smart. Like
I'm coming like 12 or 13, 10, 9, 10. You know this shit. Your Obama phone. you know what I'm saying? Oh, you can use my phone type thing with supervision. And then, you know what I'm saying, getting closer to 12, 13. Okay, here's your phone with your own plan. You got unlimited, you know, what you do.
Well, I'm going to say this. All phones are smartphones almost now. You don't you don't get a lot of phones. You don't get a lot of phones that's not smartphones. One, two. If once you get your children phones, there's so many restrictions that you can put on. You can set them up that they can only call 5 people.
I don't think I ever did that on any of my devices. Like I never used the parental.
What's the age you got your youngest child phone?
And then
I think she might have been in 4th grade.
4th grade. Okay.
So what is that? 8, 10? And them
so I think like 8.
Yeah, 18. Yeah.
And then walking to school. So
yeah, exactly. See, that's always a true factor. Call when you need it. Your phone. That's we not taking that on because that's gotta be that.
I want to take a couple of these comments. Okay. So Tweet said all my children have had access to their own phone as small children. I like to know what Tweet put it in.
Yeah.
There. She said my oldest had minutes in elementary. Hold on one second, caller. She said my oldest had minutes in elementary. For my last 2, they had old iPhones and used them over Wi-Fi to call me or any other friends. So she was making some concessions. Caller, what's on your mind, caller? What's on your mind? What's your name?
But I just got one question though, because like all us a little older, we all had access to phones, no matter what age it was. It was if it was a phone in your house,
yes sir,
you came home,
yes sir,
you called your mama job or whatever, they checked on you, and it was a payphone on almost every corner.
You are exactly right.
So do we don't cut the kids because we don't got the same phones that we had?
No, it's not.
Smartphones is a different breed.
So when we say having a phone, for me, that's like having access to everything that come with a phone. So like with us, it was just the phone. Like and you had to know the number. The phone didn't remember the number for you. Yeah. You had a book of numbers if you didn't remember them all. And so, like, it was very intentional.
Your little black book.
Yeah. It was just a communication device.
The yellow pages.
The phone has evolved into something more than just like, okay.
Yes.
It's now a computer, right?
It's definitely a computer.
But go ahead, you.
I was just saying that I just know because we used to play on the phone when I was like,
I
mean, to play on it, you know, to call house and hang up.
I remember all the things.
You all said back.
Wild stuff, and we was like even younger than what y'all saying 10.
Yeah,
like we like 5, 6 years old doing this.
Well, that's tough. That was a tough 5-year-old. That was a real
just think about it. You used to look in the white pages and flip it. You find somebody.
You was older than 5.
I don't. But listen, you used to still flip through the white pages.
What it had?
We didn't know how it worked.
Right.
We just push the button and see if somebody answered. Yeah. Turn the numbers.
Yeah. You had the circle phone.
And here's the thing. That's why I said the phone. When you say play on the phone, like that has a whole nother meaning right now. Yes. You know what I mean? Playing on the phone today, you could be playing shoot 'em up games, Call of Duty, you could be watching, whatever you watching, like YouTube. I remember my grandson, I was trying to figure out how he found videos on YouTube because he couldn't read at the time. Like he was, 4 years old.
Just taking suggestions.
But what he hit the speak button and he tell the phone to go to the video he wanted to go to. So I'm like, okay.
Yeah, that's the magic trick.
No, they definitely do that. They speak it. They say,
"Show me
Shark Tank," and then they can't even halfway say it. Right?
I'm gonna let you go. You thank you for calling me.
Thank you, human man. Appreciate you.
Go to La La Land video now.
That is hilarious. Because I don't seen it.
Put it in the chat.
I don't seen it, man. That's hilarious.
Okay.
But our kids will never know the things that we experience, like because we have instant access to people. We used to have to wait because if the phone
we didn't have instant access. Yeah.
We had to write letters.
Hold on one second, caller.
Now you got to just text.
Yes.
Yeah. All right.
Hello, caller.
This is Pensacola Poppy, man.
What up, homie?
I keep a roll for the
for the payphone.
So Pensacola Poppy, what age is?
What age is appropriate? My quarters used to fee for the payphone back in the day to do prank calls.
They do the prank calls. Yeah. So what say you? Give me your thoughts.
I got reprimanded as a young child because I was calling Freddy Krueger on the 800 number back in the 80s. There was Freddy Krueger. Yeah, you can listen to Freddy Krueger.
You can listen to Freddy Krueger scare you. But I want to hear your answer. What age is a good age to give a child a phone?
No age. None.
Okay.
Yeah, a teenager, probably around 16. But a child, none.
Okay.
I subscribe to a child not needing a phone.
Okay.
Because what a child is. So.
Okay. So that's a perspective. Everywhere that the child is, there are adults. So
but
you
trust those
adults.
adults.
It's a new world we live in, right? But when we was children, we were hearing the same language. It's a new world, you know. You got these kids getting kidnapped, like that was a big thing in the 80s. It was a big thing. Kids getting the candy snacks and stuff on Halloween. It was always something going on.
Right.
But we didn't have phones.
Right.
When we were kids, we the age where girls couldn't get phone calls.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So you had that cousin call.
Yeah, this is
your best girl voice, but girls don't get phone calls.
Hello, can I speak with Qiana, please?
Hey man, do that right there. Get the phone.
Real deal. All right, well, thank you for calling Pensacola Poppy. I appreciate it, man. You coming in?
I think Reno will be in later. But I wanted to
It's calling that.
Peace. All right, you're listening to the Tampa Bay Breakfast Club, the new 99 GM's morning show right here on 99.
Okay, so I was a little late this morning. We only got a couple of minutes before we go on our break. Did y'all celebrate Valentine's Day yesterday?
No, I mean my wife made an amazing dinner last night.
That was a good celebration.
And there was a lot of love in that dinner, man. She had some stuff salmon and some mashed potatoes, and she just really did her thing. So
that's what.
If we count that as a celebration, yeah, we celebrated it. Good food, good vibes, a lot of love in the pot. So yeah, that was my Valentine's celebration.
What about you, Jabbar?
I got on the roof. Well, I had my son, my oldest son, got on the roof, and we cleaned up and did some work we needed to do.
Okay.
And so I felt a lot of love. It was lovely watching my oldest boy do the darn thing, right? It felt good, and I said, "Wait, I'm proud of you, boy."
Yes, appreciate that.
That was all about love yesterday. Yes, all about love.
So tell me about your day.
I ended up spending it with my mom.
That was love.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
My dad bought me flowers.
Yeah, okay, that's the business.
I felt love.
That's real, man.
It didn't take a whole bunch of money and all of the stuff.
I swear.
We did time.
Yeah.
We did time yesterday, which typically we don't have the time because everybody's running around.
I know.
So we ended up settling we resolved we wouldn't do stuff on Valentine's Day because it was no other reason than when you go out on Valentine's Day, everybody's going out.
It's cluttered.
So it's cluttered. So the service sometimes is lacking the attention. Because we like to, after we eat, we like to sit and talk and kick it. On Valentine's Day, you ain't getting that sit, talk, kick it space because they trying to get you out so they can get the next person in.
Right.
To get that table, and so they kind of rush.
It's all about the money.
Yeah, and so just the Valentine's Day out experience, the service a lot of times is
wow. Man, I didn't never think about that.
I mean, you're kind of right. Yeah. So so I'm one of the people is that we don't have to necessarily celebrate on Valentine's Day. I want to be acknowledged, but we don't have to celebrate.
Okay,
that's love. That's love. Appreciate
don't forget this Valentine's Day.
Yeah, don't forget that.
You gotta go all.
Yeah, you don't gotta go all because if you're in a healthy relationship, y'all kind of show each other.
Yeah.
That's what we have.
Y'all share each other love and do stuff for each other just because.
Every day Valentine's Day. I mean, I'm just
it sounds good.
At least once or twice a week.
That's a good sales pitch.
But you know what? But you do stuff nice for each other to show your appreciation. So it's really good. And I mean, if y'all have an amazing Valentine's Day and y'all want to talk about it, give us a call. Let us know.
Yeah, and do it after the break, y'all, because what we're going to do is the top of the hour, so we got to do a quick station identification. We want to make sure that you know that you're listening to the 99 Jams Morning Show. What we're going to do is play some news. So you'll hear Democracy Now! Headline news, and then after that, we have Basha Jordan. He's actually a part of that Jordan family.
Yes, the great grandson, if I'm not mistaken.
He's gonna tell us.
Okay. I mean,
we don't need no Jamar facts.
He's here, and he will be able to let us know. But
he's here,
but he's only going to be able to do that if y'all stay. So you got to stick around, and we'll be right back after the break. Y'all stay tuned.
A US spokesman, John Kirby, said the objects may be tied to commercial or research activities. But he said President Biden wanted to be cautious.
You want to err on the side of safety here in terms of protecting our national security interests, and the fact that these objects could have and likely did at some point in their path transit over potential military sites of ours or sensitive sites.
Plans to use frozen Russian assets to help fund the reconstruction of Ukraine are expected to make progress later today. The European Union will set up a working group to look into the idea. Jessica Parker reports from Brussels.
Poland and the Baltic states have been particularly pushing this plan, saying confiscated cash could help pay for reconstruction as well as compensation, given the huge damage caused by Russia's invasion of Ukraine. It's estimated that across the EU and other advanced economies,
more than
around
one
300
mass shooting a day in the United States.
Hello, I'm Gabe Ortiz, and this is WEDU Arts Plus. Based out of St. Pete, the Tampa Bay Breakfast Club is a morning radio show about hip-hop life and urban culture. Meet the hosts who inform and empower their listeners.
I'm Jabbar Edman. I go by Mr. Edman. My role, I'm a host and I'm co-founder.
My name is Brother John Muhammad, Your Brother John, YourBrotherJohn.com. And my role on the Tampa Bay Breakfast Club is host.
Warned of the risk of waterborne diseases amidst the massive destruction and displacement in both countries. Medical workers also report many patients with mental health concerns, including PTSD. This is Diana Fatal, a UNICEF worker in Syria.
Thousands of children faced on the 6th of February a crisis within a crisis where they continue to face complex situations of displacement, of fear, and extreme cold weather. As you see that this collective shelter that used to be a school is now accommodating families that lost houses and loved ones.
The United Nations says it needs $5.6 billion to help address the humanitarian crisis in Ukraine and to help the millions who fled Ukraine since Russia's invasion began almost a year ago. The UN estimates nearly 22 million Ukrainians depend on humanitarian assistance. This comes as NATO says Russia's eastern offensive has begun as Moscow aims to capture the strategic city of Bakhmut. The Ukrainian military ordered aid groups to leave the city earlier this week. Kyiv says, though, it has repelled Russian attacks on Luhansk. Meanwhile, the Pentagon is seeking to restart a program to place U.S. Special Operations Forces inside Ukraine. In other news on the war, a State Department-backed report has accused Russia of holding at least 6,000 Ukrainian children at facilities in occupied Crimea and Russia. State Department spokesperson Ned Price criticized the Russia program on Tuesday.
Putin seeks to rob Ukraine of its future by taking its children. Russia's system of forced relocation, re-education, and adoption of Ukraine's children is a key element of the Kremlin's systematic efforts to deny and suppress Ukraine's identity, its history, and its culture.
An Israeli soldier has been jailed for 10 days after he attacked prominent Palestinian activist Issa Amro as he was being interviewed by the New Yorker journalist, the Pulitzer Prize-winning author Lawrence Wright. The assault took place in Hebron, in the occupied West Bank. Amro spoke after the attack.
I see that there is a huge escalation from the Israeli soldiers and the Israeli settlers toward Palestinian and Israeli human rights defender. We are now really have real life threats. I feel my life is in danger. What happened that the soldier was wild and he didn't care about the presence of a prominent international journalist. They don't care. They don't care anymore even about the cameras, about journalists. They feel that they are backed up with their government and backed up by their own system.
A Twitter video of the attack posted by Lawrence Wright has gone viral. Israel's far-right National Security Minister, Itamar Ben-Gvir, has expressed full support of the Israeli soldiers attacking the Palestinian activist. This comes amidst escalating violence against Palestinians, with Israeli soldiers killing another 2 people, including a teenager, during a raid on the Farah refugee camp in northern occupied West Bank Tuesday. Israel's killed at least 50 Palestinians, including 11 children, since the start of the year. The Biden administration's withdrawn its nomination of prominent human rights attorney James Cavallaro to serve on the Inter-American Commission on Human Rights over the attorney's past comments describing Israel as a, quote, apartheid state. He's also criticized House Minority Leader Hakeem Jeffries' close ties to AIPAC, the American Israel Public Affairs Committee. Cavallaro is co-founder and executive director of the University Network for Human Rights. He's previously served on the Inter-American Commission on Human Rights from 2014 to 2017. Writing on Twitter, Cavallaro decried what he described as, quote, censorship of human rights advocates who denounce apartheid in Israel, unquote. Indian tax officials raided the BBC's offices in New Delhi.
Right now, there we go. Welcome back to the Tampa Bay Breakfast Club. I'm your brother Qiana.
This is Qiana.
This program is being brought to you as part of the New Image Project of the Community Development and Training Center, aka See That.
See that.
And we would like to thank y'all for tuning in, helping us to redefine what's cool. And amazing first hour, ground covered, and so it is what's on your mind Wednesday. Also, we're in our marathon drive, so we were able to get some pledges this morning. We got $200 in pledges. We got a pledge from Sierra, Joyful Everything, Beautiful Being. We also got a $100 pledge from Joanne Nesbitt, her husband. Thank you so much for that. 3% star, those percent star. Yeah, call in to make a pledge to the radio station, or if you want to not please a Sierra on the case as well. She put the link for the PayPal in the chat, so you can just actually go to the chat and you'll see that there's a link for you to donate. That's where when you go to 99jamstheberg.com, it's another button that you click. She already clicked that button for you, y'all.
Right.
And she put the link to that button in the chat. So making it real easy for you to donate and contribute to
and I'm
this
as well. So it's right there. So
we also have with us in the building, we got a guest in the building. I don't know if y'all realize, but we got Dr. Basha P. Jordan Jr. He's an addiction consultant, radio host, pastor, and a lot more. My brother. He's also a descendant of Elder Jordan, who we were talking about during our Black History segment. So definitely thank you for being here. Welcome to the Tampa Bay Breakfast Club. How you doing this morning?
I'm doing excellent. Thank you for inviting me. Thank you, Qiana, for giving me all of the directions.
You're welcome.
The Hope Doctor.
The Hope Doctor.
Yeah.
Matter of fact, I got a shirt for each one of you all.
Okay.
Oh.
Yeah.
Come bearing gifts. I appreciate that.
Yeah, well, I just thought it might be good.
Yeah.
Small, medium, large.
I'm a large. I'm working on it though.
Yeah.
I'm a large right now. Yeah.
I probably need a large.
Okay. Got it.
Okay. All right.
I could do a large or extra large.
Me too.
Well,
let's see.
Let me give you this one.
Okay.
And I think that the way they're cut, I think that you can.
Okay, I can work that one.
Yeah.
Thank you.
All right. The Hope Doctor.
The Hope Doctor's in the building. So tell us about Hope Alive Outreach. Tell us about the ministry.
Well, first of all, I'm Dr. Basha P. Jordan Jr., pastor and founder of Hope Alive Outreach. We've been in existence since 2005.
Okay.
And our mission is to give hope to persons who suffer from the disease of addiction, primarily drugs and alcohol. And the reason why I got into that is because God delivered me from a 30-year drug and alcohol addiction back in 1988. And since 92, I have a broadcast on iHeartRadio.
Okay.
Dealing with recovery radio.
Right.
And I'm originally was raised in Baltimore, even though my father and grandfather, Elder Jordan, raised here in St. Petersburg.
So Elder Jordan's your grandfather?
My grandfather.
Okay, got it.
Yeah. And I believe I know I've got some of his genes because he was a go-getter.
Oh yeah.
And and the apple doesn't fall far from a tree. My father was a pastor, and I came here in, I think the first time I came here was like in 1969.
Okay.
I came here just to visit my uncle Elder Jordan Jr.
Okay.
Was
that's your father's brother?
No, my father's brother.
Okay.
And he was responsible for the first bus line between St. Petersburg and Tampa, Clearwater.
Okay.
He also was a number runner.
Yeah.
And did some other things.
Right.
Owned property, just like my grandfather. But our Hope Alive outreach is concerned about individuals who suffer from the disease of addiction. Drugs and alcohol is killing our people.
Yes, sir.
Even though I'm a minister of the gospel, there are a lot of individuals sitting in the pews every Sunday morning who are suffering in silence from the disease of addiction.
Right.
Matter of fact, my second book is entitled "The Pipe Beyond the Pipe in the Pulpit."
Okay.
The first book is "The Pipe in the Pulpit." It talks about my life, how God delivered me. But my second book, "Beyond the Pipe in the Pulpit," there's a chapter in here on suffering in silence. It's a terrible thing to be going through anything, but especially something that challenges your life and you can't talk about it.
Right.
That was my.
Why is that? Why do you think that people who have or struggling with addiction feel like they can't talk about it?
Because of the oppression of individuals who are addicts and alcoholics, because of the consciousness, the negativity, and the misinformation that's out there, miseducation about who an addict is, who an alcoholic is.
Right. It could be anybody. It could be, some people, like they say, they suffer in silence. So you see doctors, you see lawyers, you see professionals, and in their mind, and I may be wrong because I'm not a professional in their mind, they're too good to have this addiction. Or people not gonna treat them with respect if they say they have addiction. People are more open about alcohol addiction than they are drugs.
Well, alcohol is an accepted commodity.
Okay, there you
go. Drug. Alcohol is a drug.
Yeah.
I'm a part of 12-step program, Narcotics Anonymous, Alcoholics Anonymous, also the church. But at the same time, when I went into treatment in 1988, there was 60% of doctors were declared as addicts.
60% of doctors, medical doctors.
Medical doctors. Yes.
Yeah.
As a matter of fact, when you said,
and I heard they say they got the best drugs. Well, because they work in the hospitals and they have access to a lot of the drugs that
access, accessibility.
Yeah.
And when we talk about accessibility, a child 5 years of age whose mother is an alcoholic, dad is a drug addict, will leave drugs, alcohol around, party.
Yeah.
And the next morning, and the kids will go around and they become little drug addicts and alcoholics in the making.
Wow.
So what we do is we give consultation. When I was in Baltimore, I established the House of Hope right next to our church, which was for men, and the government would send us men in lieu of jail time. They would send them to us,
right?
And we would put them in a program of recovery. We have something in the 12 steps. The third step says we came to believe that a power greater than ourselves could restore us to sanity.
Right.
And so there needs to be a spiritual component to an individual's recovery process in order for them to recover.
Let me before we get that far, I want to just go back to like a person who may be listening right now, who like they know that they're addicted, but they feel like they're managing it. Because I see a lot of people like that are addicted, but they feel like, oh, I'm good. Yeah. Like I'm good. I don't really need no help.
Right.
Well, what do you say to a person like that? Like, well, you know that you doing things that you shouldn't be doing, but you figure you got it under control. How do you get that person to take a step and be like, you know what, or even to realize that they need some help?
Very good question. Alcoholics Anonymous, AA, was the first 12-step program. And it was established in the church.
Okay.
Back in 1933. No, 52 it was. It was in Oxford. It was called the Oxford Movement in the church. And the 12 steps were established, and the first step answers your question.
Okay.
The first step says we admitted we were powerless over alcohol, and our lives had become unmanageable.
Okay.
So therefore, if you ask yourself the question, does my drinking or does my drugging have me being uncontrollable, have my life to be unmanageable? And if the answer to that question is yes, then yes, we suffer from the disease of addiction. And that's the first step in the recovery process, getting honest.
Okay.
Let me put it like this. During segregation and the height of racism in America, and also sometimes today, an individual who is an African American who's extremely light-skinned could pass for white.
Right.
And so since an individual who is a mulatto could possibly pass for white, then they could possibly take on the characteristics of an individual who is white and denying their blackness.
Okay.
So therefore, same with addiction. A person who has a job, they're making 6 figures, they live in a nice neighborhood, but they actually are an addict or an alcoholic. They could take on the attributes of an individual who's not an addict.
Okay, they can pass.
They can pass.
Yeah.
Okay, and we call them functioning addicts.
Right.
However, the telltale is if you ask yourself the question, is my life unmanageable?
Okay.
Case in point, am I spending more money than I intend to spend? If you smoke cocaine, you're going to do that.
Right.
There's no question about that. You shoot heroin, you're going to do that.
It's just a matter of time.
If you're an alcoholic and you're drinking top shelf alcohol, you're going to do that. And unmanageability could also be in your marriage, for instance.
Okay.
Your wife is telling you, hey, look, you're drinking too much. Your husband is telling you, hey, look, you use too much drugs.
So even if like you haven't noticed it yourself, if you're hearing it from other people, that may be something that you want to pay attention to as well.
You go in the crack house and they don't want you in there. You follow me?
Yeah.
Your mama, she doesn't let you in the house because every time you come into a house, you're stealing from her.
Okay.
That might be an indication.
Yeah.
You can't keep a job.
Okay.
You're always getting put out. Addiction affects every area of our lives, and addiction encompasses an individual who you can become addicted to a person.
Okay.
You can become addicted to a place, and you can become addicted to a thing.
Okay.
I ride a motorcycle, and even though I got a very nice automobile, the only time I drive my car basically is on Sunday.
Okay.
Okay, but then the excuse that I use is I enjoy riding my motorcycle, which I do,
right?
And it's much less expensive than riding
driving the car.
My car,
right.
Which are all facts.
Which are all facts.
So they're all facts, yeah.
Okay. But now whether or not I'm addicted to it, I can't say.
Sure.
I like to play golf. I like to shoot billiards.
Okay.
But one thing I do know, and I was in a 12-step meeting last night. I do know I'm addicted to food.
Okay.
Because just because you lose your addiction in one arena does not mean that it will not surface in another.
And you said that earlier when you said that you're an addiction consultant.
Yes.
And then you said primarily drugs and alcohol. That for me implied that there was some secondary addictions also, like it's other things that you can be addicted to beyond drugs and alcohol.
By me suffering from, I have the disease of addiction, which has been passed down in my family through our genes.
Okay.
If your mother was an alcoholic and your father was an alcoholic, more than likely that gene is going to be in you. And the only way in which that gene is going to become active is if you take your first drink.
Okay.
You see, it's impossible for an individual to become a drug addict if they don't take that first drug. I educated my children, my son and my daughter. I brought them up, taking them to 12-step meetings.
Okay.
Talking to them about my drug addiction because
you got to get front with it. Yeah,
right. But they would say, "Oh, Dad, that's just you. You know, we can handle it.
Yeah,
you know, that's just you. Okay, all right, you can handle it." But then after a certain number of years, uh, the telltale tales started surfacing in their lives. Okay. And so,
and then it becomes clear that they can't handle it, or that it's not being handled.
Yes.
Like you said, when it becomes unmanageable, I guess
when your life becomes unmanageable, you start stealing.
Okay.
You waking up and you calling in sick.
Okay.
Unmanageability, I think, is self-explanatory. But a lot of times, we might not think that you can become addicted to work or can become addicted to gambling.
I think I might have that problem. I might be addicted to work. I really do.
Okay.
Like, it'd be hard for me to not work.
Well, but is your life unmanageable? And I'm not saying that you have to answer that.
I got it. But you say that, it just kind of make me think about it. Like I have a problem not doing that.
Right. Addiction in itself is defined as obsessive and compulsive behavior.
Okay.
I've got to do this. I got to have. I
feel like that.
Just let me finish this. Just let me finish. Let me finish this, and then I'm coming. Then all right, hold on, I'll be right there.
Yeah.
Then right there turns into an hour and a half.
Okay.
You know.
Okay.
I was Monday. I was supposed to be at the doctor's at 3:50, and I'm in my office working, and it was a very important. I mean, I've got heart disease, and so I looked at my watch, and all of a sudden it's 5 minutes. It's 5 minutes to 5. I said, oh my goodness, I missed my doctor's appointment.
Right.
Okay, and I began to think, wait a minute, am I addicted to work? But let me put that on the back burner. Let me just call the doctor. Let me not deal with that right now.
Yeah.
Do I have to be doing work? Do I have to buy this?
Because shopping, I hear people talk about.
There's all types of addictions,
there's all types
right?
of addictions.
Yes.
So for those who might have just tuned in, you're listening to the Tampa Bay Breakfast Club right here on 99 Gems. We have pastor and addiction consultant, Dr. Basha P. Jordan, in the building with us. And we're talking about the different types of addiction. He's with the Hope Alive Outreach.
Yes.
And you can go to hopealiveoutreach.org if you'd like to get more information. Dr. Jordan.
Yeah. And also, individuals want to get in contact with me. You can call me at 443-250-9635.
I was just going to ask that. So with the outreach ministry that you do, so you have classes?
Do whatever's necessary to help an individual who calls us and asks for help.
Okay.
We've got resources. I've got resources. I've got resources.
So it just depends on, like, I guess the nature of the call. So some maybe get a call.
Some people are more in dire need of some other services when others are not.
Well, we not only minister to individuals who suffer from the disease of addiction to drugs and alcohol per se directly, but also to their family.
Okay.
If Joe is an alcoholic and he lives in his house and there's 7 people in that house, then his alcoholism affects everybody in the house. Everybody.
That's true.
So therefore, we have 12-step programs like Al-Anon, Al-Anon.
I remember hearing Al-Anon.
Alateen.
Yeah.
We have Gamblers Anonymous, Overeaters Anonymous, Narcotics Anonymous, Cocaine Anonymous, Sex Anonymous.
Yeah.
You say yeah.
Yeah. No, I'm just thinking about the different.
Yes.
Like it's just giving me a perspective or reminding me of just some things that I don't think about a lot.
Yes.
Like the different struggles that people have with, like you said, it's either a person, a place, or a thing.
Yes.
And in your profession and just seeing how much of these addictions are rooted in like trauma and all that stuff, because I know that's like a big thing now.
And they're asking, what's the number again?
443-250-9635. 443-250-9635. Or you can go to our website. And that's www.hopealiveoutreach.org. That's www.hopealiveoutreach.org. Now my second book, Beyond the Pipe and the Pulpit, deals basically with addicts and alcoholics during COVID.
Okay.
And what has happened is
they said that was a big thing too.
What are you talking about, man? I mean, for instance, to give you some stats. First of all, there's a great disparity between the deaths of African Americans and the deaths of white folk.
Okay.
For instance, there were
during COVID.
During COVID,
okay.
I mean,
or just in general. Okay,
but it got worse during COVID. For instance, 2020 in America, there were 110,236 deaths as a direct result of drugs. And the CDC said that when they gave an autopsy of these bodies, that there were more than one drug found in their system. In Florida, 2021, 7,756 individuals who died.
Okay, those overdose. Okay, gotcha.
Overdose. But overdose deaths, as far as the ratio is concerned, it increased in 2021, 44% for Black people. That's during the pandemic. 39% for American Indians, and 22% for whites. But due to the COVID-19 pandemic, things got disrupted. More people were dying because of isolation.
Okay. Right. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So when you're alone at home or working at home, and you're alcoholic or an addict, then you're gonna use more.
Yeah.
Alcohol, substances take us outside of ourselves and give us a false sense of security. So what we do is I travel all over the country, utilizing my book as a tool to get individuals educated about what addiction is, and let families know that there's hope for you.
Right.
Because to live hopelessly will have an individual shooting dope and hoping that this will be the last time they shoot it because they want to die. All right.
Yeah.
I mean, it's a terrible thing to be involved in any type of addiction and you want to die.
Right.
I mean, I've been there, because to be a pastor and to be an addict, practicing addict,
right,
preaching on Sunday morning, telling people what God would do for you, but somehow or another He's not doing it for me.
Yeah.
Can be, it's a paradox. It's a terrible state.
No, and I want to just commend you on that, because it takes humility, I think, really, because when you're in these roles, these positions, that ego and that facade and that the way people see you means a lot, right? And so, like, as a pastor, you are mindful, like, I'm a pastor, and people looking at me and they think that I'm this thing, you secretly dealing with something else. So for you to be able to just confront that and say, you know what, even as a pastor, I was addicted and I needed help.
Right.
Like, it's probably a lot more people like that, but they just haven't gotten to the place of courage,
right?
Or just not caring about that perception and really caring more about themselves and their well-being, to be able to put that to a side and say, even though I'm in this role, I'm in this position, I know that I need help and I'm going to seek and get the help.
Right.
So thank you for just your candor, your courage, and willingness to share the story in that way, because we have these ideas about who people are or how they should be
and how our leaders should be.
right,
when you look
right.
at our leaders, they think that, like, honestly, it's some superpower
right
that you have that takes you out of being human.
Yeah.
And that you don't have to fight regular demons and battles that other people don't. And so you're held to this standard on this pedestal that a lot of times people can't live up to.
Yeah, so
it's really hard to live up to them, and then now you're suffering in silence.
Right.
And then when it comes out, you get all the criticism and not the love and support that you need. But once you overcome it, everybody's cheering.
Oh yeah.
So it's like
everybody's not cheering you on.
Okay. From experience, right? But I know what you're saying.
People be like, great, you are a survivor. You've been drug free for 30.
It's like the relationship talk that we say. It's like, okay, you stupid if you stay and it don't work, but you was brilliant if you stay and it ended up working out.
What's the difference from stupidity and courage? It's just the outcome.
Just the outcome.
But then when we talk about the disease of addiction, all right, let's just say that you have asthma, or that you have heart disease, or you have cancer, all right, then you wouldn't label an individual as being stupid if they have cancer.
Okay.
Or you wouldn't label an individual stupid if they have.
It's a disease.
It's a disease.
Yeah. Okay.
So what do we do to treat that?
Right.
All right. What do we do to treat that?
I see it.
And one thing I want to say is this: If you're an addict and if you're alcoholic, you cannot do it by yourself.
Right.
You think you can make it by yourself, you are in the wrong pew. You need help. If it wasn't for my wife, I wouldn't be alive today. My wife is the one who went behind my back and orchestrated an intervention in my life.
Right.
My wife did something. I told her, if you tell the bishop that I'm using drugs, I'll kill you. I'm telling you, and I'm saying that, I'm saying that because it's the truth. The second step says we came to believe that a power greater than ourselves could restore us to sanity.
Right.
A person who's addicted to drugs is insane and doesn't know it.
Hold on 1 second. We got a caller.
Introduce yourself.
Oh, Joe, good morning. This is Sierra. This is a good topic. I almost missed out on one of the best relationships due to this condition, right? Because this condition will allow you to misconceive the position that people still hold, although they have this condition.
Wow.
And that person is my mother. But I also was neglected to have children, and you opened this up for me today. Because I was afraid of addictions that people don't consider as addictions, like shopping and sex. So I knew my father, who didn't bother, had to have had a condition or an addiction that I couldn't see or the world had yet to describe for him not to want to be a part of my life.
Wow.
Because I thank you this morning.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you so much for calling and sharing that. And that's what it's all about. It's about, inspiring each other, feeding each other, and continuing to build our community. Look, I do gotta run. I'm sorry. I gotta be excused. And so I'm gonna leave you to it. I think y'all can hold this thing. Y'all can hold this down.
Yeah, we can. We got 30 more minutes. We can do something. I just need to ask Qiana because y'all have it.
Okay, I'll send it to you. Okay. All right, so I need to ask Qiana, but thank you so much for coming, Dr. Jordan. Thanks for all that you do in the community.
Thank you both.
And I look forward to seeing you on the battlefield.
Yes, sir. Thank you for sending your assistant to our Gordon Park redevelopment team.
Thank you.
Really, Brother Pritchard really did
Oh yeah.
He asked the question, man, that needs to be asked, and I did. I mean, God, my prayer for you that God will continue to inspire you, work through you, keep you. The Holy Spirit will guide and direct you so that you might continue to do His work. In Jesus' name, Amen.
Amen. I receive that.
All right. Yeah. One of the things I want to say about this topic, and that is that, and I do a daily broadcast on Facebook under Basha Jordan Jr. Basha Jordan, and it's called A Dose of Hope. And at the end of every broadcast, I say, and remember, no matter what's going on with you today, there is hope for you. I'm the Hope Doctor. Have a great day. I say that. Hope. The Bible says, now faith is the substance of things hoped for and the evidence of things not seen. And so therefore, if you believe in God, He can help you. If you don't believe in God, He can help you.
Right.
But for those of you all who are listening, if you'd like to get some help and some hope, and you want me to come to speak in your church, that's what I do. I come and speak in churches, treatment facilities, detoxes, recovery houses, schools, conferences all over this country.
So what I'm finding is because I was helping somebody try to find a treatment center. Treatment centers are so expensive.
It all depends. It all depends on how you get in.
Okay.
It all depends on who you know.
Okay.
Right.
Okay.
It all depends on who you know and who opens the door for you. So
this is true in life. Go ahead.
I was just in a conference day before yesterday, the Pinellas Recovery Roundtable at St. Pete College, and the mayor was there. My city council representative, Deborah Fix Saunders, was there, and there were about 60 of us sitting around the table, all of us having some type of interest and input and resources in this arena.
Okay.
So one of the things that's happening right now is seeing that we have a new mayor here in St. Petersburg. One of the things that came out, and that is that he is concerned about this addiction problem and about drug addiction. And so all you have to, the Bible says we have not because we ask not. So ask for help. One of the things, and I speak from experience, when you are ashamed and you got a lot of pride and you're suffering, your mouth can be closed.
So this is where I'm at. So I had somebody come to me who, really want help, and then going through calling people trying to do it. It was really difficult for me, but I'm going to say I never reached out further. I didn't reach out to my team either, or people that my circle to be, hey, I need help with this. So you are right. You ask not, if you don't
you have not because you ask not.
Mm-hmm.
And if you put it out there and you trust God, God gonna make a way for you.
This is true.
He's gonna make a way for you. If you don't believe that, every situation that you have through in your life, you've come through it. Every situation you've come through it. And if you're going through something right now, just think about some other situations that you've been through that God brought you through, and you didn't come through by yourself. If you think they say pull yourself up by your own bootstraps, it's impossible for you to become successful, or you become great, or for you to become influential, or for you to become delivered, and just doing it by yourself. No, I'm telling you, all of the 12 steps involve somebody else, but the main person that it involves is a higher power. Now, by me being a pastor, I thought that God had forsaken me. And so when I went into treatment, I wasn't about God and all that sort of thing. Then when I came out and went to my first AA meeting or NA meeting, and they're talking about God, I'm sitting in the back, because I always try to dress neat. I'm sitting in the back of the room, NA meeting with suit and tie on, with my late model automobile parked outside, thinking I'm all this in a bag of chips. And then they start talking about God. And I said, oh my God, but something said, sit still. Sit still. Because it's possible for you to be miseducated even about God. It's possible. It's possible for you to have a false impression of your daddy, like she was just talking about. All right. So you need to go somewhere and get a real positive, truthful education about whatever it is that you're dealing with. You could have a false impression about your man, about your husband, about your wife.
Because you really have to be open-minded and educated.
Yes.
And because a lot of times when people are dealing with addiction, it's bigger than you and I.
Oh yeah.
And you think like if they love us enough, if they love me enough, that they would have stopped. It's really not that easy.
It's not that easy.
If it was, nobody would be addicted to anything.
Listen, let me tell you something that'll get you on point. If you out there thinking, well, why don't they just stop? All right. If you smoking cigarettes, I tell you what, why don't you just stop? All right. If you overeater, like I am, if you're an overeater, why don't you just stop overeating? Stop eating that fried chicken. Stop eating them hamburgers. Stop eating that fast food. Why don't you just stop? Addiction is not easy. You just don't stop. Okay. Because even in the AA, if they say if you just stop drinking and you don't have a program, then you're not in recovery. You're just on what is called a dry drunk. You just not. The whole idea of 12-step programs, as a matter of fact, the whole idea of a church is to change your behavior and to change your thinking, to change your mindset. I'm not the same individual. So when I came into the rooms of Narcotics Anonymous and 12-step program, it made me look at God. It made me, I had to sit down, I had to write about my relationship with God. I was all my life. I was 41 years of age when I came into treatment. I've got 34 years in recovery right now. Thank you, Jesus. 34 years. But when I was in church, I didn't never have to sit down and write about my relationship with God. All I had to do was walk down the aisle, give the preacher my hand, bow at the altar and get ordained and join the church. Even when I went to seminary. When I went to seminary, they didn't have me to write down about my relationship with God. But when I came to the 12-step program, it challenged me to write down my relationship with God. And I found out that I did not have a true relationship with God. I had a relationship with religion.
Okay.
And there's a big difference between religion and spirituality.
It is.
You see, because when you're spiritual, you're going to be this way Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. But when you're just religious, you're just going to be this way Sunday. Monday, you're going to pick up, you're going to start shooting dope again, start cussing people out, but what I'm saying is that you can't do this by yourself. There are programs that are here that are available for you. And since I know that God saved me from this, why? Not for me, but so that I can do what I'm doing now. Because as I travel the country and I introduce myself as Dr. Bosby Jordan Jr., pastor, right? Overcome a 30-year drug and alcohol addiction. I started using in 1958, all right? The first drug was not marijuana or alcohol. My first drug was a cigarette.
Okay.
People don't look at cigarettes as being a drug.
Because it's legal.
People don't look at alcohol as
because
being
legal.
Right. But how many people die because of cancer as a direct result of smoking cigarettes and cigars? How many people die because of alcohol, because of cirrhosis of the liver? Okay, because of they were drunk and they had an accident. So I don't know who's listening, but I do know one thing, that God is able to help you. My wife went to the bishop, told him what I was doing, and even though I was raised up in the church, I wasn't always in the church. I left church when I left my daddy's house and went into the street. I went into the street and learned a lot of things in the street. But God will take you where He needs to take you, so you can become educated in the arena that He wants you to be educated in. And so therefore I can relate to individuals who come from jail or Yale, not just individuals who are from the street. And so, I mean, I'd love for someone, if you're going through right now, if you want to call this station to just share, I give you the opportunity of doing this, or you can call me at 443-250-9635, or go to our website, hopealiveoutreach.org, hopealiveoutreach.org. And we have my book, the first book, The Pipe and the Pulpit. It took me 25 years to write this book.
Oh, wow.
And the reason why it took me 25 years to write this book was because I put some things in this book that I had to overcome myself.
Okay.
So that if you read about it and you see that you can't hurt me, because I've dealt with it. The wreckage of my past has helped me. Let me just say this. The further down we are, that God has to stoop down to pick us up. The deeper the ditch we're in, the higher God will raise us.
When you're at the bottom, the only way to go.
Yes.
Once you hit rock bottom, and like you said, when you're thinking about all the stuff you go through, because I was listening to you when you were speaking, and I always tell myself, like, there's no storm that lasts always.
Right.
The rain has to stop eventually. So you think that this is the worst of the worst, but you will get through it.
Yes.
You will definitely get through it. So yes.
But at the same time, you got to do some work. You got to do some work. A few things that I want to just share as far as solutions are concerned, and that is prevention. Prevention. My daddy used to say, an ounce of prevention is worth a pound of cure. An ounce of prevention is worth a pound of cure. And so that means that it's much easier to prevent your son or your daughter from becoming an addict than it is to get them cured, to get them into a program. And so education of our children about what addiction is, this stay woke and this thing that DeSantis is talking about is totally ignorance.
Right.
We need, nobody can legislate what I teach my children in my house. You see, I have a responsibility as a man of God, as a father, and as a husband, of being the spiritual head of my household. And I have an obligation of teaching my children right from wrong. Once I teach them that, then they're on their own to a certain degree. They're on, and the reason why I'm saying that is because my children are 36 and 32, but they're not on their own.
I have this thing, like I tell, like my mom be like, go, and I'll be like, no, listen, my daughter always have a safety net in me.
Yes.
Even if she doesn't know it. And sometimes you got to feel like you're drowning so that you can overcome, because they still have to do the work themselves. We can't do it for them. But I'm always going to have a safety net. Just like when you look at God, you may not think that He hears you and He's there for you, but He always has a safety net for you.
Yeah, but as parents, we have to educate our children, let them know where the safety net is. To let them know that even though, for instance, I have a daughter in Georgia. She's near Atlanta. She's at New Birth Church, where Pastor Jamal Brown is the pastor. My son is in Baltimore. But they can still call me, and I call them. I stay in contact with my children. I stay in contact with them. And they'll call me and ask me for advice. I mean, I'm 75 years old. My children are half my age or less.
But isn't it? So I was talking about that last week. as a parent, like, when they're kids, we're their dictators. Like, we run everything. When they become adults, now we're their mentors. If we did it right, in my mind, if we did it right, now we're their mentors. And now there's no greater feeling for me when my adult children call and still ask me for my opinion. They value what I say.
You have adult children?
My daughter's 26.
Really?
Yes.
My goodness. I thought that maybe you were just like in your late 20s or something. No. I'm not gonna ask a woman how old she is. But anyhow, you're very well preserved.
Thank you.
Yeah. And it's a blessing to be able to see your children grow.
Mm-hmm.
All right. There was a time in my life when I sold dope. All right. Now I'm selling hope. I have a saying that I figured out or configured in Baltimore, because Baltimore was the heroin capital of America. All right, and our ministry was located right in the heart of the African American community. And I would say, treat me like the dope man, only call me the hope man. Because see, in Baltimore, the dope man gets respect.
Right.
He gonna get respect no matter where he goes. He gonna get respect. You don't disrespect the dope man, no matter what you think. Even if bags of $10 and all you got is $9, when you go to him with $1 short, you got to respect it. You got to respect it. And if you owe him $1, you better pay.
Yeah.
You with me? So treat me like the dope man, only call me the hope man. Why? Because now faith is the substance of things hoped for and the evidence of things not seen. So thank you. So if you're out there and you think that just because you're an addict and you're alcoholic, you can't make it, let me tell you something. If I can get clean and sober, you can too. All I'm going to do is show you how I did. And if you follow the directions that I give you, then you can get 34 years clean also. That's the hope in this program. That's the whole hope of the church. You got to share what you have, Qiana. I listen to you all, to this broadcast in the morning, and you all be just conversing and talking over one another, but everybody throwing their diamonds into their plate. But if you listen, there's a message in the madness.
It is.
It's a message. There's a message in that. And the message is that your broadcast is here to help our people. You with me? Hope, really, to giving people hope and education and all of that. And you're all inspiring one another. And so that's the same way it is with me. I'm not here just for me.
Right.
I'm here for you. Because my first sponsor told me A helping B helps A the most. When I help you, I'm helping me the most. But I got to help you. And there's no way in the world that my children are going to grow up being ignorant about what drugs and alcohol do. Even if they choose to shoot dope, they're going to know. They're going to know. Are you with me? Yeah, the same way, like my father. I started to say he liked guns. Well, he had guns in the house. So he taught me how to use a gun, when I was 10 years old, 11 years old. And so I grew up with guns in my house. All right. So I taught my son how to use a gun when he was like 11, 12 years of age.
Yeah.
Okay. But then he took it to another level, but he knows how to use it. But the same way I taught him how to use a gun is the same way I taught him about God.
Right.
And I taught him about how to be a father and taught him about being a husband. My son has seen me hug and kiss my wife. I never saw my father kiss my mother. Never saw my father hug my mother, because back then it was private. So what we do with our children today in a positive way is we need to show them the positive things about life. But we also need to let them know about the negative things in life.
Listen, it's always two sides of the pancake, right?
Yes.
So if you had to leave the people with anything and how to reach out to you, what would you tell them?
I would tell them, get your pastor involved in 12-step program. Get your pastor involved in the church. If you don't have a pastor, get a pastor. If you want to go to the mosque, if you want to go to the Catholic Church, what I'm saying is, whatever you do, get a God in your life. And when you do, get them to have a 12-step program in the mosque. Get them to have a 12-step program in the temple. Get them to have a program in the Baptist church. Why? Because there are people sitting there who are suffering in silence from the disease of addiction. People are using. 1 out of every 4 individuals is using a drink or a drug and an addict. 1 out of every 5 individuals has a mental disorder.
Mm-hmm.
You got people sitting in front of you in your church, sitting next to you on Sunday morning who acting crazy. You know, just because they jumping up and then screaming and hollering and clapping their hands doesn't mean that they're doing it for Jesus. They just might be getting lost in stress.
Because everybody has a vice.
Yeah.
Everybody has something. You don't
Right.
know what it is.
Right.
You know, and it's everybody has something.
And the final thing I want to say, educate your children about what drug and alcohol addiction is. You get educated. Pastors cannot teach what they do not know.
This is true.
So pastors, get educated. Open your eyes and your ears up. Why? Because you burying people who have died from disease of addiction. Even if you don't know it, even if you don't know that they died from an overdose. I've had persons in my congregation who have buried their children because they died from an overdose, but that wasn't mentioned in the obituary. Are you with me?
No, because the stigma that comes up,
yes.
that comes along with it. You are ashamed of that addiction, and so people don't want to shine a light up. You see at a lot of funerals. I remember going to a funeral and I'm hearing everybody speak about somebody, and I'm like, who is that person?
Right.
Like, I don't know that person.
Right.
You know what I mean? And that person had to exist somewhere because people talked about it. I wish I knew that person. You know what I mean? But I definitely didn't get up and speak because you think sometimes you want to be respectful to a person, so you don't talk about all the bad stuff or the hurdles that they had to overcome doing that thing. But life is real.
Yes, it is.
You know, and addiction is real out here, and people are suffering in silence.
Yeah. And let me say this. The greatest killer today in America of African Americans, other than heart disease is the #1 killer of individuals in America. But drugs with fentanyl is killing people. Fentanyl is a highly potent synthetic opioid that's being put in marijuana. It's been put in heroin. It's been put in cocaine. However, there are addicts who are asking for fentanyl on the street. And fentanyl is being marketed on the street, just like we used to market cocaine and heroin and cigarettes. And so please be careful. If you're using drugs, please be mindful. I'm going to be talking with the mayor. I saw him day before yesterday at this event in Clearwater, but I'm going to talk to him about having a safe house. Even though it might sound crazy, to have a safe house where addicts can go and use their drugs, but you also have trained medical individuals who are in that facility in case there's an overdose, where they can use in peace, because addicts going to use.
They're going to use regardless.
Okay.
And most addicts don't want other people to see them use.
Right.
So they leave it go somewhere else. And then you have the crack houses and all that.
But at the same time, incorporated in this safe house are resources for individuals to become clean and sober. Resources. There's maybe a detox in the back, or there may be some avenues for treatment upstairs in the same building. But at least those houses that have been set aside as safe houses where you can go in and use your drugs safely, that's a place where you can also get some help. And the final thing I want to say is whatever you do, sit down and talk to your children. All right. Search your children's room. I'm gonna say this again. Search your children's room. If you got a kid and they are 10, 11 years of age or older living in your house, search their room and let them know you're searching it. Why? Because my son was selling drugs, all right, and was using my house, his room, as a stash house, and I didn't even know it until the police came in and surrounded my house, made my wife and my daughter and myself sit in the living room under gunpoint, and they searched the house. And when they went into my son's room, they found all kinds of paraphernalia, scales, and all of that sort of thing. And I didn't even know that he was doing it. Search your house, because if you use drugs and alcohol and you survive, think how ingenious you were. Addicts and alcoholics are some of the most ingenious, some of the most intelligent people, have a high IQ as people in the world. Who else do you know that can use dope for 20 years and not work a job and still have an apartment and get high every day, other than an addict? So I'm Dr. Basha P. Jordan Jr., the pastor and founder of Hope Alive Outreach, and I do hope and pray that I have blessed someone here today. Call us at 443-250-9635. That's 443-250-9635. Look us up on the World Wide Web, hopealiveoutreach.org. That's www.hopealiveoutreach.org. Get our book, Beyond the Pipe and the Pulpit, and you'll be blessed.
Well, listen, this has been an amazing show today. We've got a lot of information that was given to us. We had some great topics. So this is the end of the show. I'll have my final thoughts right now. If you know somebody that needs help, if you're the person that needs help, reach out to Dr. Jordan, please. The number is in our group chat. Again, that is 443-250-9635. All right. Be the change that you want to be. Write down those 5 things that made you smile, that made you giggle, that made you appreciate life, because again, it is not promised to us. We may not make it through the end of the day talking about waking up tomorrow. So tell somebody you love them, give them hugs, again, laugh a little bit more, and just enjoy life. And that is it. We didn't even have time for the Ask Qiana, so we'll hit that up on Friday. And then we'll continue. So just have a great day. Oh, today is Wednesday. Before I say that, come out to the open mic Wednesday. Tonight at 31 Grand at 8 p.m. Please come out. It's the comedy. It's the open mic. Do that. We have the Collard Green Festival that'll kick off this Friday at Boyd Hill Park. And then it'll be on the Deuces on Saturday. So, yes, looking forward to this weekend. And this has been Qiana.
And I'm Dr. Basha P. Jordan Jr.
And this has been the Tampa Bay Breakfast Club. Have a great day.
Until the Bipartisan Safer Communities Act this year at the federal level. And
WUJL, St. Petersburg.
For that reason.
99 Jazz.
Story.
The bird.
Survivor from the Michigan State University shooting was also a survivor of 10. Young people now experience